Hello, fight fans, and welcome to the Combat Challenge podcast. My guest today is a MMA welterweight athlete with a professional record of 4 wins and only 1 defeat. His amateur record was 9 wins, 0 loss, and 1 draw. He fights out of the well-respected Trojan Free Fighters under the guidance of Mr. Paul Sutherland and is contracted to the prestigious Cagewarriors promotion, Mr. Matt Figlak. Matt, thank you so much for joining us, my brother.
Thank you for having me on, man. Thank you.
Did you like the introduction, brother?
Very good introduction. I like that. I really like that. You know, you put some good information in there. Thank you. Good. Very good.
Thank you, my brother. Okay. So the first question I want to ask you, brother Matt, is your martial arts journey from a young age. If you can talk us through what sort of sports you got into, who you trained with, and how you ended up where you are now.
Okay. Yeah. So from the young age, I was always interested in fighting. You know, I was always interested in fighting. I remember seeing fighting very early on, let's say 12 years old, maybe 11, 10 years old, here and there. My dad would have, you know, the old school K1, was it K1 Max or what, the K1 Grand Prix, and the old Pride. And I remember seeing like Vanderlei Silva. Now I can recall knowing who the guy is. I remember seeing Vanderlei Silva and Crow Cop and Fedor. And I was like, you know, it piqued my interest, you know. But then you just, you know, you're just a young man or a kid, whatever. You're just getting on with your life, going to school. So I didn't really pursue anything back then at that young age, okay? But sort of at the age of 14, when I started up a bit of boxing because some friend at school, he was doing boxing, and he said, "Oh, come to boxing, you know, try it out, see how you feel." His dad had a gym, so I started doing some boxing. Started doing some boxing with him, and that probably went on for a year, and then I lost interest. I wasn't really too committed to it, you know. I didn't really understand anything back then, fighting wise, what it was all about. And then after that finished, something else piqued my interest, and it was judo, because my dad trained judo when he was a young man. So I thought, I'll give judo a go. Judo is interesting as well. I'll give that a go. So I started training that after training a bit of boxing. Again, it wasn't really what it is now. Yeah, it wasn't really what it is now. It wasn't committed. It was just trying things out, which I think as a young man, that's what you need to do. You need to go around the different sports and try different things out, you know. Try a bit of football here, try this, try that, and something that clicks with you, that's what you can go with, you know. So like this is what I was doing. I was trying the different things out. I tried the boxing, went on to judo, did that for a little bit, had 1 competition in judo. I think I'd done well in that, scored some points on people. I think I got a medal. But then again, I wasn't too committed to it. It wasn't the thing for me. I was still searching. I was still searching, still looking for something. But fighting kept pulling me back in, you know, just trying to find something that clicks with me. And then eventually, at the age of 16, I managed to find a gym where they had MMA classes, and which was in Hereford. It was called Combat Academy. And I started training there. That's where the journey began, really. So at that time, when I started training the MMA at this gym in Hereford, I was also training quite rigorously at home. You know, it would be an everyday thing. I was a very sporty kid. I would want to exercise all the time. So I was training with my brother, because we got into the sport together, you know, me and my brother. He's also a fighter. So we were doing a lot at home too, you know. All the skills that we got from boxing, we were practicing at home. All the skills we got from judo, we were practicing at home. And then we were going to the MMA classes a couple times a week or once a week, as it was quite far away from where we lived. We lived in a small town. Yeah, so that's where did we get to? About age of 16, where it all started, really. You know, before it was just dabbling in loads of different sports. And of course, there was some football. I played a little bit of football, played a few rugby games for school, different things like that, you know, just trying different things out, you know. 16, started that. So me and my brother, we're training rigorously now, every day, doing our runs, doing some weights, training the MMA. There was a guy at the gym. I think he was a professional at the time at that gym in Hereford, and we were speaking to him, and he told us about this place. There's this club where they have MMA sessions on a daily basis and loads of different classes, and just really bigging it up, you know. So I thought about it. I'm like, hold on a minute, let me look into this, you know. So I looked into it. I looked whatever the memberships were, where it was, and after a little bit of thinking, I just made a plan in my head. How am I going to get there? How can I afford to go to the gym? Yeah. How can I afford to go to the gym? How can I get the transport or get my own car or whatever to travel to the gym so I can train every day? By that time, I was already obsessed in my head with this sport. All I wanted to do was that, you know. I didn't want to do anything else. I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going for it. So I'm going for it all the way. So everything I did was for this, you know. And yeah, so I made the plan in my head. I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get myself an apprenticeship, because I was a young man then, 18 years old, I believe. I'll get myself an apprenticeship. I have some money saved up, and I'll be making steady money as an apprentice. And I'll buy a car. I'll get my insurance and all that. Obviously, do my license, or I already had a license. I'll do all this. I'll calculate everything out. I'm going to get the membership, and I'm going to travel there every day. And I did. And ever since that, it's been on hardcore, you know. So that was at 18 years old when I changed gyms and I started with Trojan Free Fighters. And that was good 10 years ago, 9 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. Yeah. And I haven't looked back since, you know.
The other week I was speaking to your brother Michał, and we had a podcast, and the story he tells as well is the first time that you guys went to Trojan Free Fighters, you went on your own first, right?
My brother, he couldn't come to the first session when we moved the gyms, so he couldn't come to Trojan for his first session. For some reason, I can't remember what the reason was, because it was a long time ago, you know. But he couldn't come to the first session, so I went on my own. And I went and done, at the time, Paul Sutherland's class, which Paul Sutherland right now is my head coach and has been since then for now 9 years, you know. So I did his class. I believe it was a kickboxing class or striking for MMA, one of those classes like that. And I remember doing the class, and after the class, Paul taking me to side and asking me, so like, what's going on with you? You know, what's your deal, basically? Yeah, why are you here? What are you looking for? What are you looking to do? You know. And I remember saying to him, yeah, you know, I'm looking to fight. You know, looking to fight. I'll be here every day. I'll be training hard, and I'm looking to fight. And he said, okay. Come to the other Trojan, which was in Cheltenham at the time. He said, come to Trojan on a Sunday for the pro MMA sparring. I said, okay, I'm there. Yeah, this is what he said. So I said, okay, I'm there, no problem. And at the time, I'll mention my brother too. I said, can my brother come too? He's the same. He just could not make it today for whatever reason. Yeah. And I remember he said to me, he was a bit reluctant, but he said to me, oh, okay. What level is he? You know, he said to me, what level is he? I said, same as me, savage, you know. So I say, yeah, he's the same as me. So he goes, all right, then bring him on Sunday. So yeah, that's how my relationship with my head coach started. You know, he invited us to the pro sparring, and we went, you know, and we saw him on that Sunday at the pro MMA sparring, and we went in, mixed it up with the pros. All of them, the who's was on the mats. There was like 20 I'd say 20 professionals back then on the mats, and we mixed it up. He threw us in there, and then from there on, it just continued, you know.
Yeah, you haven't looked back, have you, brother?
Never, no.
Your last fight that you had was on Cagewarriors 114 last year against Madas Fleminas. Can you tell me your preparation? What did you know about Madas? And then talk us through the fight itself.
The preparation was more, I was preparing Mike and my teammate to fight on Cagewarriors. Okay, so what happened was my teammate got injured, and what happened, I took his place on 2 weeks' notice to jump in on that fight and fight, you know. I was in great shape anyway, as I am all year round. You know, I was doing the rounds in the gym, sparring with the guys, helping the guys out for their camps, my brother and my teammate. And obviously, unfortunately, my teammate got injured, and the fight was offered to me, and I took it straight away, you know. So I had 2 weeks to prepare for that fight. In preparation for that fight, I did my usual. I concentrate on me, you know. I concentrate on me, always trying to improve myself, always looking at new things, what's going on in the MMA world, what's the new things that are coming in, and just trying to improve my game, you know, and come in there the best that I can. Specifics for the opponent, there wasn't many specifics, because that guy has quite an awkward style, you know. He has an awkward style. So Paul, my head coach, he prepared some stuff for me, and we drilled through it, you know, many times before the fight. And yeah, the outcome of the fight was exactly what I wanted, you know.
And talk us through the outcome and you know, obviously which round it happened and how did it happen?
So it happened in the first round. The way the fight started quite fast. Yeah. Both of us trying to land on each other, me being quite evasive as usual, trying to get after him. Really, though, I'm trying to take him out from there, you know. Every fight I get that I get into, I'm looking for a finish, you know. I'm not looking to go to decision. I'm looking to finish these guys, you know. So we had a few striking exchanges. I noticed some tells. I noticed patterns very quickly. We were a minute in, and I already noticed patterns. And I used that pattern against him, landed a big right hand on the counter. He took it. I believe that buzzed him, and it buzzed him hard. And at that stage, I just snatched him to the ground, took his back, sunk the choke in, and choked him out. He tapped out. That was it. It all happened in under 2 minutes.
Is there any other fights lined up for you, Matt, or are you still?
Yes, okay. Yes, I'm. Yeah, I've got a fight lined up on Cagewarriors 120 on the trilogy against Josh Plant. So it will be a great fight, another explosive fight, another great fight for me. Again, always looking for the finish, always exciting fights I bring, you know. So it's going to be a great fight.
And what date is that? And what do you know about Josh Plant? Because I don't recognize
that is the that is the 18th of March. I don't know much about my opponent, and I don't really focus too much on my opponent. You know, like I said before, I focus on my skills. I focus on me improving myself every day, every training session, just trying to get better. You know, not really focusing too much on them, just me.
Now, you're saying that you don't want to leave it in the hands of the judges. You always want to finish it. If you had to make any prediction, brother, how would you like it to finish?
I wouldn't even make a prediction. How would I like it to? I just want it finished. You know, I will take any opportunity, whether it's a submission, whether it's a knockout, I will take it all. But I know that once I get in, I will see it. You know, the opportunity will present itself, and I'm just gonna take it straight away, you know.
Sure, man. Well, hopefully once that fight's done, that'll be around about, you know, a couple of weeks after that. We'll have another podcast and we can talk about that, right?
Oh yes, definitely.
Along your martial arts journey, are there any other coaches that have played a significant role? And if so, why? And if you want to elaborate on Paul, you can do that as well.
Yes, definitely. You know, Paul Sutherland is my head coach. I've been with him for 9 years now. You know, he's seen me from a teenager now to, you know, now fighting for Cagewarriors, you know, and then yeah, he's been a big part of my game. He has a very good mind and very good eye for MMA, and me and him agree on things all the time. He'll send me something or say something, and I'll go, Paul, I was just looking at that, or I was just thinking the same, or whether we're thinking about upcoming fights or improving, we think alike a lot. You know, we think alike a lot, and me and Paul, we click well, and I really respect him. You know, he's a very good coach, and I'm happy to have him as my head coach. And like I said before, 9 years it's been, you know, so it's great to have him. Yeah, another coach part of my camp is a fighter and a coach, Ronnie Mann. He's been a very good addition to my camp, and I've been working with him for a few years now too on various things in the MMA game. He's been a big part too, and I'm really thankful for him being in my camp also. You know, he's a very high level black belt. Can't say enough good things about him as well. You know, he's been in the game for a long time. He's got a lot of fights under his belt, and then I'm grateful that he can pass on the experience to me too. You know, another coach of mine is Tony Glacking. He's my boxing coach. Another amazing mind and another amazing coach. Very detail orientated, yeah, just like me. You know, he picks the small details and tells you, oh, you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong. Very good, just like me. You know, I like that sort of thing. So he's been a big part of my improvement too. You know, and he rightly so, he should get a mention too. You know.
And Ronnie Mann, he's been on the circuit for a long time. That boy's a legend, him.
Yeah, he's a legend. He's a legend. Paul Sutherland is a legend, you know, first Cagewarriors lightweight champion, Paul Sutherland, you know. Yeah, just I have amazing people in my camp. I have amazing people as my coaches, people that I look up to, you know, people that inspiring, you know. So it's just great things in my camp, great things. I'm really, really happy with it.
And it's good that Paul's been able to shape and mold you into the fighter you are today, right?
Yes, definitely. Paul is the head coach of all this. Yeah, Paul puts it all together. Paul tells me things that I'm doing right, tells me things that I'm doing wrong. Just continues to work with me, continues to mold. Yeah, continues to give me things so I can improve. You know, we go back and forth about ideas. It's great. You know.
And at the same time, you listen to him, and the reason I say that is because you've had like 10 amateur fights, your brothers had similar. And when I did a podcast with Paul Sutherland, he was saying that ideally he'd like his students to have a good 9-10 fights under the belt as amateur, so that then they're ready for the pro. And is that the sort of guidance that Paul had given you as well?
Yes, of course, yeah. Just get your experience in the amateurs, you know, yeah. And then, yeah, Paul was always guiding me and Mike, you know, me and my brother. I could always trust Paul on his decisions, you know. Even now, any fights that get proposed, yeah, I just say yes straight away. I'm not scared to fight anyone. So you give me anyone, I'll fight them right now. Paul, it always goes to Paul. Paul says, Paul sends me the name. I just say yes straight away. You know, I just trust him. I just go straight away yes.
Because what you don't want to do, brother, is end up with like Mike Perry on UFC with his girlfriend in his corner, right?
Oh, no, you don't want that. You would not want your girlfriend in your corner, man. Come on. I don't know what Mike Perry's doing. I don't know what he's doing, you know.
That was just madness, right?
That's madness, you know. How could you know, I would never do that. You need people with experience and people that can give you advice, you know, people that can push you, tell you to do certain things. Not just it's crazy, you know. It's crazy
because when you're in the fight there, you kind of have more like tunnel vision, but your coach, he or she from the outside, they've got more of a peripheral vision, and they can see things and kind of give you the instructions, which you, through experience, will have a split second to react to, right?
Yes, you can. Sometimes you can't see from the inside what people can see from the outside, and you just get a different perspective, you know, whether you in between the rounds or they shout, you know, from outside the cage, they'll just give you a different perspective. And you want someone there you can trust that gives you good advice, because you don't want to second guess it. You just want to do it sometimes, you know. So that also goes into your sort of instinct, whether to listen or not, whether to do something at the right time or not, you know.
Now, you've mentioned your brother, and the reason I bring him up is we're in some testing times, you know, with the pandemic and everything else happening. And I was going to ask you, how are you able to keep fighting fit in preparation for March? And obviously, your brother will play a part in that, and also you having a professional status. Can you talk us through how you're trying to keep fit during these testing times?
So, in the times of pandemic, which has been going on for a while now, you know, I'm quite lucky in the fact that I am a professional athlete and I do have an exemption to go and train at a gym. You know, we have been given that permission from the government and through Cagewarriors also. You know, we have the documents to prove that, if anything, you know. So I've been lucky with that, and so to be honest with me, just it hasn't really changed much, you know. I sort of yeah, maybe a little bit more isolated, yeah, so not as many people around, but I'm still doing my work, I'm still doing my 2-a-days, I'm still getting out for my runs, I'm still going to the gym. It doesn't matter for me, I'll always find a way, you know. So these are testing times for a lot of people. I've been lucky in a way to get this exemption, and I'm very happy with it that I have it, because it allows me to do what I love every day, you know. I get to go to the gym every day and work on my craft.
Even if you didn't have the exemption, I assume you're the sort of person that would have the mindset to find a way to still keep training, right?
Right, that's 100% right. Whatever happens, I'm gonna find a way. Whether I have to do it at home, I would just do it. You know, I move furniture around and just do it at home. Not a problem for me. Or just go outside in the patio or something. It doesn't matter for me. I'll get it done. You know, I need it every day, and I will get it done.
You've had a whole boat of fights, both amateur and professional. Can you tell me if there's any fights that have been quite rewarding for you, or any moments that come to mind when you look back on your martial arts career today?
Very good question. Very difficult question. Yeah. But what I will say is, I don't have a single moment. I don't have a single moment. I look at all of these moments when I'm in the cage. It's just what I live for, you know, the feeling that you get, the freedom to express yourself. This is what it is, really, you know. This is what it is, a freedom to express myself once I'm in the cage, to present my skills. It's all of those moments, all the fights, you know, all of them. The opportunity to do that, to just be free and let it all out there, you know. Just fighting is a lot like life, yeah. A life is a fight. So that's what I really like about it, you know. It really shows the truth. The Teddy Atlas said the ring or the cage is the chamber of truth, and that is very true, you know. Whether you lacking, whether you exceeding, it will all show in the cage, you know. So that's what I really like about it. And like I said, I don't have a single memorable moment, but I just like all of it.
Now, you've competed on amateur level. Now you're fortunate enough to be competing professional on a premiership level, on an amazing promotion like Cagewarriors. If there's other athletes who are starting up on their professional journey, through your knowledge and experience, what advice would you pass on to them?
For guys starting out, I would say, like you'd say, professionals.
Yeah, so those that have done the amateur bit, but they're wanting to turn professional, what advice would you give them?
Stay consistent, you know, that's key. Stay consistent, and you got to give it your all. Don't half-ass it. Don't do anything like that, you know. because you'll be coming up against someone like me, and I'm taking this serious. You know, I'm taking it serious. I'm on it every single day, all day long. So if you half-ass it, you come against me, you're getting knocked out or you're getting choked out. You know, so be careful what you wish for, and stay consistent.
For sure, brother. What they don't want to do is come across the Figlak brothers, right?
Definitely not. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. The Cagewarriors is being taken over right now.
For sure, brother. That's I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for Mike as well, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Matt, thank you so much for your knowledge and experience and sharing that with myself and the viewers. And I look forward to having you on the next podcast after you have your fighting match. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on today. It's been really good conversation, and I'm looking forward to next time. Thank you.